So, how did this girl who grew up in an orphanage become the most influential fashion designer of the 20th century? How did she build a billion-dollar empire, survive 2 world wars, and even face accusations of being a Nazi spy? Coco Chanel's story was complex and controversial, full of contradictions. Beyond the version Chanel told, the reality was entirely different. Born on August 19, 1883, in a small town in France, Gabrielle Chanel grew up in poverty. Her father was a traveling fabric salesman who was often absent, while her mother worked as a laundress. When her mother died, 12-year-old Gabrielle was sent to an orphanage, never to see her father again. Life in the orphanage was tough, but it was there that she learned to sew, a skill that would become her ticket to success in the years to come. At 18, Chanel left the orphanage and attended a finishing school, determined to leave her past behind and create a new identity. She dreamed of living among the wealthy elite and quickly realized that financial success was the key. However, how she would achieve it remained uncertain. By the age of 20, Chanel was working as a seamstress and frequently encountered soldiers. One evening, she attended a musical performance and seized an opportunity to sing on stage. This performance landed her a side job as a cabaret singer, where she was reportedly given the nickname Coco from a song she often performed. However, Chanel later claimed the name came from the French word for a kept woman. Regardless of its origin, she fully embraced it. While working as a seamstress by day and singing by night, Chanel met Etienne Balsan, a wealthy polo player. Entering a relationship with him, she was introduced to the world of aristocracy and high fashion. Living in Balsan's chateau, she was showered with luxurious gifts, dresses, jewelry, and accessories. However, Chanel grew frustrated with women's fashion, which was dictated by male designers and filled with impractical, restrictive styles. She saw an opportunity to revolutionize women's clothing and took a bold step. She appeared at an event wearing a men's suit, accessorized with a tie and one of her own hat designs. Her unconventional look attracted attention, but it also marked the beginning of her journey into fashion. Her passion for fashion grew stronger. Chanel began designing hats and simpler, more comfortable dresses. However, Balsan saw it as nothing more than a hobby, until Chanel met Arthur Boy Capel, a wealthy English businessman and close friend of Balsan. Capel recognized her talent and, in 1910, provided financial support for her first boutique in Paris. Chanel's elegant yet practical hat designs quickly became popular among actresses and socialites. Chanel set her sights higher and opened a boutique in Deauville, a luxurious seaside destination for France's elite. In 1913, she introduced stylish yet comfortable garments made from jersey fabric, a material previously used only for men's underwear. Her designs gave women an unprecedented sense of ease and elegance, redefining fashion. However, in 1914, World War I broke out, bringing economic hardship and changing social norms. As men went to war, women entered the workforce. Extravagant dresses and elaborate hats were no longer in demand. Rather than give up, Chanel adapted. She designed practical yet stylish clothing for working women. This bold move cemented her reputation as a fashion visionary. By the 1920s, Chanel was at the top of the fashion world. She had turned challenges into opportunities, saying, "A world was dying and another was being born." However, while her career flourished, her personal life was complicated. Her relationship with Capel was falling apart, and in 1918, he married an aristocratic woman. Though Chanel continued their affair, she was devastated when Capel died in a car accident in 1919. Channeling her grief into her work, Chanel launched one of the most iconic perfumes in history in 1921, Chanel No. 5. Unlike traditional single-note floral scents, Chanel No. 5 combined multiple fragrance notes to create a luxurious and sophisticated aroma. Marilyn Monroe famously stated, "I wear nothing to bed except a few drops of Chanel No. 5, which contributed to the perfume's legendary status." Despite her success, Chanel faced business struggles. She had signed an unfavorable contract with investor Pierre Verheimer, leaving her with only 10% of the profits from her own brand. For years she tried to regain control, but Verheimer outmaneuvered her at every turn. With the 1930s came another war, and Chanel's story took a darker turn. When Nazi Germany occupied Paris in 1940, Chanel closed her stores and moved into the Ritz Hotel, where the Nazis had set up headquarters. During this time, she became romantically involved with Nazi officer Hans Günther von Dinklage, leading to accusations of collaboration. Some believe Chanel aligned with the Nazis to reclaim her business, as wartime laws prohibited Jewish ownership, potentially allowing her to seize control from Wertheimer. However, Wertheimer had anticipated this and temporarily transferred ownership to a Christian associate, preventing Chanel from taking over. After the war, Chanel was arrested but mysteriously released without trial. Rumors suggest Winston Churchill intervened to protect her. However, her reputation was damaged, and she fled to Switzerland. In 1954, at the age of 71, Chanel made a comeback. Though the French press ridiculed her, American audiences embraced her designs. Soon, Hollywood stars and First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy were wearing Chanel, restoring the brand's prestige. Chanel continued shaping fashion until her death in 1971 at the age of 87. After her passing, Karl Lagerfeld took over, transforming Chanel into a global powerhouse. Today, the brand remains under the Wertheimer family's control, valued at over billions of dollars. Coco Chanel's life was one of reinvention, ambition, and controversy. From an orphanage to a fashion icon, she redefined style and luxury. However, her wartime associations left an indelible stain on her legacy. Whether remembered as a visionary or a flawed figure, one thing is certain: her impact on the fashion world endures.